here. Yesterday night we did not have our live stream as we always do it, but I told myself immediately when Tyler gets to school, maybe I would come and I maybe do a short video because yesterday was a little bit hectic. If he's around, a lot is going on. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I think this is the second time we are doing these lives in the morning. Yeah. We are not being so perfect, but of course, slowly by slowly, we are getting there. And of course, this is something that I felt like talking about. Yeah. And I hope you will love it. Living off grid. Mm. So in the morning, because we are not so much used to this, of which it is something that I told myself that at least every morning, that is Monday to Friday, more so when Tyler goes to school. If he goes to school, so that means instead of me going to bed, maybe I can always come and we have a simple chat. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So as long as you are on, I want to say thank you very much for watching. This is of course Luze Andrew Anderson, and there is something that I felt like sharing. It is something we were supposed to be sharing. I think it was supposed to be yesterday night, but of course we didn't. Why didn't we? Because I was taking care of the young man. Yeah, I was taking care of him, and he didn't give me time to relax. So let me just start off. I'm not going to be taking much of your time, but of course, in the next 5 years, yeah, in the next 5 years, so many people will regret their choices, and I'm going to be telling you why. For the past 10 years, I would say I would regret some of my life, but now currently because there's not the right time when to start. Yeah, you can always start afresh. Yeah, I've started afresh like 2 times. Yeah, no, 3 times now, counting also this time. Now I've started afresh like thrice. But just in case you're a young man or a young woman or you're a growing up person, yeah, I feel like maybe sharing this with you, you're going to love it so much, yeah, because I felt like the experiences that I've gone through life, I felt like maybe sharing them with people and maybe leaving these, I'll call them like short documentaries behind so that even when my son grows up, these are the things, he will be going through. These are the videos he will be watching and he'll be proud of the dad. Yeah. So I'm going to be starting off with this one. Yeah. I use English reason being because I want, even other people who don't understand the language so that they can also understand basically what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I started by saying in the next 5 years, so many people will regret their choices. This is something I've been saying and I felt like maybe sharing. Yeah. The choice is yours, yeah? The choice is yours. The decision is yours. It is up to you, to either listen or blush it. But of course, just know eventually it will get to you. It will get to you. And you'll be like, I wish I listened, yeah? So this is it. Of course, because right now they think they still have time. They think they can start tomorrow. We are always like, I'll start tomorrow. I'll do that tomorrow. So that's why when I was like of the idea of doing content, yeah, in the morning when Tyler is gone, instead of going back in bed, I felt like, no, let me just start off. Whether I'll be the only one watching myself or I'll be having 2 people, 3 people, let me just start now because we are used of starting at 10 in the night time. So the choice is yours, yeah? Because right now you might think that you have time. And of course, you might think like, maybe I'll start tomorrow. You might think maybe, life will wait for you. But one thing I've learned over the time is like, no one, time is not going to be waiting for you. And of course, we waste a lot of time. And of course, we think we are infinity. I talk about time a lot because I felt at one point that maybe it is the biggest asset. Yeah, I think time is the biggest asset that we've got, no matter whether it is money or whatever. But I think time is something that we've got, and in case used poorly, will leave to regret. because you could spend a lot of time, scrolling. More so when it comes to TikTok, social media is really addictive. So you might find yourself, scroll from morning to evening, and you've been on your phone and you're scrolling through social media. And one thing I've always kept saying is that when you're on social media, each video, each post you watch, someone out there is benefiting. Yeah, someone out there is earning out of it. And because maybe you're unaware, so basically you're spending money to buy the data, but you're not earning. You use your other different earnings, to pay for your data. At the end of the day, basically you're spending money and someone else is making money. So you end up, being, I would call it being uselessly distracted. So you imagine since morning you've been scrolling, you try to buy data, but at the end of the day, someone else is making a penny. Yeah, someone else is becoming more rich. But again, you're there, and of course, living for fun but forgetting to build the future. Me, that I can really understand. The times when I was just starting off with TV, you can be distracted so much, more so when it comes to the sound. If you listen to a lot of, if if you're in a crowd of people and you're listening to a lot of maybe music or anything, before you know it, before you know it, you cannot think unless you isolate and spend time alone. Then you can sort of realize, yeah, then you tend to mind about the things that really matter. But when you don't isolate and you're in a crowded place, let me say yesterday was a Sunday, and when it comes here to Uganda, every day is a party day. There are clubs that open on Monday to Sunday, yeah? So if you're distracted and you're from noise, maybe you're a little bit tipsy, then you go to bed, then you wake up early in the morning, you do whatever you're doing, then the next day, basically you're going to be doing the same thing over and over and over again. Sometimes it becomes very, very hard for you to have time to think about you and to think about your life. So the things, every person we regret because of the things we did in the past. Yeah. So you might think the time is there. Yeah. I will do that tomorrow. I'll do that maybe the next day. I'll do that next year. But basically, you can start off. Yeah. Me now here, because I love live streaming. Live streaming is the thing that I really love. I really like. So waking up early in the morning was one of my hardest, even up to now. It is one of the hardest things for me to do. Waking up very early in the morning, more so at 6. Me early is up to 10. 10 is still early for me because I can be awake up to like 7. Yeah. As I told you initially, that I concentrate so much when it is nighttime than when it is daytime. So at night, I'm good. It is like the day has started when the noise is not there, when the kid is sleeping, being a single dad. So now I feel like I can basically do anything I want. But now, if you told yourself, like, you self-destruct, before you know it, a year has gone, before you know it, years have gone, and we regret a little bit later, because the decisions that we make right now, they are the decisions we make right now, they are the ones that are going to be affecting us maybe in the second year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, even the next minute. Yeah. If you get, let me say, on a bike like me and you love speed, the decision you do there and then, yeah, and you're like, now I'm going to be riding speed. As you've made that decision immediately, I'm telling you, it can affect you the next minute. Maybe you've gotten an accident, maybe something has happened, but just because of a simple decision that you took in a microsecond. So, time, I don't know. I'll be talking about it quite more. Yeah. Living for fun and, of course, forgetting. One day, the reality will hit, and it will hit really, really, really hard. Yeah. Because by now, when we feel we are younger, yeah, you feel young, you feel like you're still fit. So you're like, no, I'm still young. Most of the girls want to do that. And when the reality hits in that now you're a grown up person, and it is too late. It is too late now. The decisions that we made now, which will be 5 years, all the decisions we made 10 years ago now hitting, and they start really affecting us. And of course, some will regret chasing the people instead of chasing their purpose. Yeah, because when it comes to relationship, maybe you think you will get a girlfriend or a boyfriend on social media, and you spend much of the time on social media trying to scroll to find maybe your dream girl, maybe your dream boy, or your sugar daddy or sugar mommy. Yeah, because nowadays people just don't want to work. So you feel like you know you're there. Maybe you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and you feel like it is all you've got. So you spend a lot of time, scrolling or having that passion, and they are taking it. And remember, time that is spent is never recovered. Yeah. If time goes, you can never get it back. So at the end of the day, it is very good. At least, we stay for our purpose and basically what maybe we want in life. Yeah. Giving all their energy and relationship that had no direction. Yeah. You're like, no, whether partying or whatever you decide to do with your life, yeah. But as long as it's not adding purpose onto you, maybe you're living for your friends, you go have fun, but no direction. Me, I call it being intentional. You've got to be intentional. I'm telling you, my blood, yeah. You've got to be intentional. Me, some of the things, and I felt like I'll be sharing a lot because some of these things really happened to me, and I felt like when I ever get time, I'll try to share, with my friends so that maybe the decisions that I made, and I basically did this video, or I do these videos that even when my son grows up, he will be there and he will watch these videos and he will feel proud of the dad, yeah. And he's like, hey, that these were good things because these are timeless. These are not trends. These are not trends or breaking stories. Yeah, they are things that we go through life, and I felt like this would be my humble retirement, that I leave behind a lot of information, just like how I'm doing, and at the end of the day, it's not because we are going to be doing it for money or we are doing it for the views. No. So that's why I don't care whether I'm the only one, because now we started this. Now this is the second day that we are doing it. I don't care. I just feel like leaving this information that even me myself, sometimes I go and I review and I'm like, wow, this was a very good video. And of course, I love the reactions that we were getting on social media, more so also TikTok. Yeah. We started putting those TikTok there, and I really care so much for a girl child, for a boy child, because for boys we grow up and we don't have anyone to talk to, we don't have anyone to advise us about life. So I feel very very comfortable, saying some of the things that I talk about, but when mainly I put my son in my mind, yeah. I put my son in mind that whatever video I make, at least he will be there, he would watch, and he will be really, really, really very proud of me. And of course, why put me through uh the it feels good because now that I'm a single dad, that I care for him. So that's why sometimes I decide to do some of these videos, basically for him, that even when he grows up, he would come, watch again and watch again, and you'll be like, yeah. Do you know that I would say we are online, but one day we'll all go offline, yeah? And the decisions we make now will really, really, really impact us like so much, like so much. I did this video, I remember, and talking about my boy child. Each time I talk about him, a lot of things just keep flowing in. And as for a boy child, as I told you initially, that when it comes to the girl child, For them, they grow up, being advised and being told things, what to do and not what to do, how they're supposed to, treat their kids. And then they forget that boy child. So that's why each time I'm doing the videos, I always think about my son. And for some reasons, I do a lot of videos and I'm advising the boy child because I'm like, maybe one day, you never know. I might even grow up, he might grow up and maybe I'm not there. Nobody really talks about how stressed a young man trying to succeed really is. People only see the posts, the motivational quotes, and the pictures where he looks confident. They see the smiles and the grind mood, yeah? The captions that they always put on, and they're smiling and they're happy, but they don't know what is really going on inside there. The nights, of course, when you maybe in your bed and you're thinking about your future and you're like, God, and you don't have people maybe to work with, but you're like, I will do it. That happens so much more with the boys because the boys raise families, they they have to support their families. Basically, it is the boys who do all that. But through the process, when they are doing that, when they see their young ones, making it in life, and then they're like, I wish, I don't know when, maybe I'll also buy my first land or build a house or buy my first car, you know. So and no one cares. So that's why me most of the times when I sit there, just like now that I've just talked about my son, it has clicked in, and I'm like, I know most of the times, most so in this AI generation that we are in, most of you call the 21st century, people are judged with what they show, yeah? And whether female or male, yeah? Because sometimes I want to add like both sexes. It just doesn't matter. You can always succeed at any time. So these things at 20, at 30, you would have done this. It is really nonsense. It's really nonsense. So when you see your peers, making it in life and maybe they've bought their land, they've built the houses, they've got the good businesses, they were dreaming about, and for you, you're lagging behind. The only thing is to be patient and, of course, be in there, be like, it will happen. It will happen as long as you keep persistent. Me, one thing I've learned is persistence. I've been on internet for quite some time and I've been following some people. And for those guys who really persisted and they were keeping in there, I've seen them succeed. More so when it comes to basically what I want to do, given the fact that I don't have the cameras, I don't have the kind of internet I want, I don't have the microphone. But at the end of the day, still again, I still come, I show up and I don't care. And I'm like, one day today when I was sleeping, yeah, when I went to bed today, I was like, I've done videos. Yesterday, I felt like doing a video for 5 hours. I'm like, it didn't work out because I was using my phone and people kept calling me. And I was like, I will look back and I'd be like, look at this. And that time is not far because I put it in my mind. And anything that you look out to and you're like, I want to achieve that. And you're consistent and you're persistent, and you, how would I call it? And you manifest it and you're like, that will happen definitely. Me, one thing I'm really sure of, I'm telling you the truth, there is nothing you can always concentrate on. Yeah, you concentrate on it and you think about it when you're going to bed, when you're waking up, whatever you're doing, you're thinking about the same thing. I swear, yeah, I'm a born again Christian and I've noticed whatever you put your mind to, it really happens. I'm telling you that. I'm really very, very sure. So back to our guy, when you're thinking about your future and you're seeing other people making it in life, but you're not making it yet. They do not see, of course, at around 2 now, like me, because I sleep late at around 2, 3, 4, 5. That's when I be there calculating and I'm looking and I'm thinking in my head and I'm thinking about how much, of course, money I have, how much I need, how much I will need for a year, even when sometimes it's not good to think and really disturb yourself on how things should be coming up, because the mere fact that we all live, yeah, the mere fact that we all live and we came onto this earth, the truth is God has a plan. Though I don't want to involve God a lot, but as long as you persist and you're like, I want this to happen, I'm telling you, it will happen. Me, I've seen it work. I've seen it work not only with me, but even with other people. Like when you're like, I want that to happen. I want that to happen. So that means whatever you do in life, yeah, whatever you do in life, you're basically thinking about, you imagine, yeah, maybe you want to be a footballer, yeah, but each time you wake up, that's the only thing you're thinking about. Each video you watch, that's what you watch. Every book you get, that's basically what you read about. Everything you do, it is basically in the same direction. It is really hard for that thing not to work out. It is really, 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 really very hard for it not to work out. Because at the end of the day, even when the opportunity chips in, yeah, because you know what you want, if it's a coach or those guys who do scouting of footballers, basically that is the angle you're going in. Me, there are things I want right now. I want a few things. As I told you initially, for the people who have been following, I don't want to be super rich. I don't want to be super famous. There are a little things that I really love in life. But guess what? Everything I do, just like how I told you, you become what you watch. You become the people you hang out with. You become, you know, where you grew up from. So me, I'm in one direction. And the things I want, even when I'm moving on my bike, that's what I'm thinking about. One thing. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. When I go to bed, when I wake up, basically everything that I do, it is going in one direction. And hopefully, if all goes well, because I know basically what I want and I'm specific and I'm straight and I basically know it, but it's really upside. And they say there is no luck, yeah. But of course, luck comes to those people who are prepared, yeah. So now me, I know what I want. So even if it's you and you're like, this is what I really want to get, and everything you do, I'm telling you, because of the things that I want, maybe in 5 or 4 or 3 years, I'm telling you the fact, it started with me. It started with me and it is within me. So something I want to achieve in 5 years, guess what? I'm taking the baby steps right now. That there are things I wouldn't do. There are things I wouldn't do. There are things I wouldn't chase, even when everyone would feel like I want that. Why? Because I'm like, that's what I want to get. So if I do this, then basically it is taking me away from my dream. So given the fact that I've not even achieved it, I've not even gotten it, but because that's what I'm thinking about and that's what I want to achieve, the baby steps, which are very, very tiny, I take them a little bit more serious. Yeah. I take them to be more serious. That one would think that you're even doing nothing about it. But when those baby steps mean a lot, let me say, if I got 10,000 today, yeah, if I got 10,000 shillings, yeah, I would do certain things and I wouldn't do certain things, given the fact that it is that little, but directly or indirectly, it is contributing on the bigger thing that I want in the next 5 years. But those are baby steps. So there are things I wouldn't do, and there are things I would do, but chasing the bigger dream. Let's take it to a smaller point. Yeah. Uh, let's imagine, what can we go for? I want to get something small. Every man really wants to start that business. Yeah. Everyone wants to get involved into business and working. And even when you need capital of maybe 10 millions, but guess what? You have only 5,000. You will, you need 10 millions, remember, but you've gotten only 5,000. But your character changes even before you get that business. So you wouldn't use the 10,000, you've got another 5,000, you've gotten anyhow. But because you have a bigger dream of the 10 million, you will start treating the 5,000 like it is 10 million. So you're not yet there, Maybe getting 10 million will take forever, but the baby steps you're taking right now with the 5,000 is preparing you for the 10,000. I think that is better explained. So you engulf yourself, you put yourself in there. You're like, given the fact that I want to achieve that, but the baby steps are very, very important. Now, me waking up early in the morning every day, it was one of the hardest things. Right now, I'm trying. Yeah. And for the people who are really watching, each time I don't come in the morning, just know I slept a little harder. But this channel is more of encouraging us. Hmm? And everything is possible. If someone else did it, we can as well do it. If someone else did it, we can as well do it. Because it's not like they are superhuman. They are also just like us. They are just like us. So today, I think, how long have we talked for? I don't know how long, 26 minutes. Yeah, I felt like leaving some there. We'll be keeping doing it every morning. So for right now, I'm going to be calling it a wrap. Until when we catch up, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. Bless.